Gators and Mussolini, Hannibal, Bliss in this party. Red man, a red tsunami, red creeks in a red Ferrari, red clay for your bodies, medical, and ex body, yeah, bless. They call me Mr. Manifest. You fellas screaming out the chest. I got this technique blessed. I found my destination to a red light. Rock your soul to the daylight. Hot jump going crazy, right? Nancy going crazy, right up, man, fight. I'm purple haze through the night. I'm thinking chili out of spite. I'm making soup for the slice. I'm speaking Alabama cream. I'm chopping corn through the streets. I rock that rage out of tape. Goosey King is outrageous. Goosa. I'm talking, they call me Nico just a noob. Punk a flame like a dude. And it feels such a core. And I got something funny.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well out there. First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. So we have a really nice show tonight. Just give me one moment. I forgot a most important thing. All right. So here we go. Yesterday, and I hope you're doing well out there. Yesterday, Hannibal, got my Dunbar gear on. It's Dunbar High School, Go Poets. Yesterday, Hannibal and I spoke with one of our faithful listeners, Brother Ori Shabazz. Ori is an Afrocentric. He's come on the show before. He subscribes, if you will, to the Out of Africa theory. What was beautiful is that despite a few points of disagreement, some slightly different perspectives, the conversation was very civil, uplifting, and helpful to all three of us. And if nothing else, three melanated men agreed on a lot more than we disagreed on. And we did it as again, it was civil. I'm of the firm belief that the more we listen to each other, self-included, I know I'm a horrible listener. The more we listen to each other, the more we learn. No one knows everything. No one has all of the answers. Nobody. I don't care who you are, unless you're God. So it behooves us, especially us, to come and reason together. I've also found that in time we come to realize that through all of the madness, there are two historical enemies. Now, Hannibal, he's the genealogy expert. Planet, he's the spiritualist, if you will, keeping us on a good vibration. Horace, he's no doubt our field general, bringing us pictures of mounds across the United States, including a lot of history coming out of Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, Ohio, River Valley. My expertise is I'm a journalist. And so I'm looking at some of the basic stuff. And there's two enemies, two historical enemies. One that looks nothing like us, and one that looks exactly like us. That's what's come out. Like the old people say, everyone your color ain't your kind. And now we know what that means. There were people that look like us who enslaved people. There were people who looked like us who enslaved people. There were people who looked like us who enslaved people. Repeatedly, Hannibal has pointed out multiple instances where someone of our own skin complexion ratted us out. We saw it in Denmark Vesey's story. That was some research I did with Dr. Eugenia Collier over at Morgan State University years ago, mid-90s. And we researched Denmark Vesey down in Charleston, South Carolina. If you're from that area and you know about the Citadel, well, know this. They built the Citadel because Denmark Vesey's plan was that intimidating, that threatening. Vesey, of course, planned what would have been the most elaborate slave insurrection in American history. So just for kicks and giggles, I got a question. Do you think America would ever give Nat Turner a national holiday? Just wanted to make you smile. In all seriousness, welcome to tonight's show. Let's get it popping as we delve once again into our Indigenous series. Please like and subscribe. Drop your family name and chat, your family name and tribe in the chat. Without further ado, tonight we're just continuing our genealogical deep dive, examining those uncomfortable truths who helped enslave. Who helped enslave us? Who helped enslave us? Was it people who looked just like us? And exploring why unity, despite our differences, is still our greatest weapon. Hannibal, you backstage? Come on out. Come on out, King.
Hey, what up, though, Donnie?
What up, though, Hannibal?
Not much. Having
Yeah,
a good day.
they burning the chat up already. Big Mob Baby's in there already.
Hey, how everybody doing out there in the chat? I see them, Big Mob Baby, Arnessa, Arnasa.
Awanasa.
Okay.
Gregory English. Awanasa, the Dunbar poets, no question.
Yes.
How was your day, brother?
Oh, I was having a good day. I was just keeping abreast of what you were saying about who sold us out. And the first thing I thought about was in the 1540s when Hernando de Soto. And we talking about those who's called Ladino people. I talked about them before, Ladino. And these are what you call mixed Sephardic Jews, or they'd be Moors, Jews, or whatever you call them. They was on an expedition. Some of them was slaves, and some of them was actually in the military services of the DeSoto. A lot of them came through like Georgia and Alabama with them, and they was capturing like it was a lady called the Queen of Cafeta-Checky. That was the first person they went and captured, and that was over there towards where the Yamasee was, like South Carolina, Georgia border, like South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina area. So they caught and kidnapped her and brought her towards Georgia and towards Alabama, where my people was. So, but it was people that looked like us that was on the expedition. So it was kind of a confusing thing to see people like us. How can I explain it? You know, they were just like them, put it like that. You know, they grew up over there. You know, a lot of them was their family members. So they was doing what their people was doing. So,
you know, when you say Latinos, what do they physically look like?
I guess they look like us. I guess that's how you would look. So you have a mixture.
Because by definition, it says the Ladino people, Ladino, are a mix of mestizo or Hispanicized peoples in Latin America, principally in Central America. The demonym Ladino is a Spanish word that is related to Latino. Ladino is an exonym initially used during the colonial era to refer to those Spanish speakers who were not peninsulares, criollos, or indigenous peoples.
So if anybody got any familiarity,
Jews comes up, yes.
Yeah, but like languages, right? So everybody know that Latin is the root language to a lot of these languages, like Spanish, Spanish, French, Italian, and a couple more languages is Latin. So when you get into like the fraternities and sororities, you get the alpha, beta, delta, and all this stuff like the Greeks do. All that's come from the Ladino language or the ancient Hebrew. You get what I mean? So you're going back to the Hebrew language or the symbols for our language, that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, when you're learning about that. So these Ladino people is the core where our language, our letters come from. So these was Black people. You know, so if you really want to if you want some biblical references about it, this kind of, you know, you might think it's off topic, but it's not. Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible supposedly walked the tribe of Judah to over there to Spain. So this is where you get these Ladinos from, if a biblical dive into it. But these people eventually made their way over here. Some of them was with DeSoto, and some of them escaped and joined the Muskogees, or what you call Seminoles, and some of them stood and fought an English captain named Captain Nichols. Nicholls or Nicolls. And he came over with some Africans from Africa to fight the natives here, like the Creeks and the Choctaw and Chickasaws. This is early in the game, like in the 1540s. Then Nichols came like in the 1820s, 1815, somewhere around there. But so you talking about like a 300-year period where it was people that look like us coming over and invading this place.
How you spell Nichols?
I think it's Nickolls. I think they call him Captain Nichols. And I think you can Google him with the Seminoles, and then you'll start seeing that he brought these Africans from Africa, like from North Africa and West Africa, and brought them this way. And a lot of them was in Florida. Some of them even escaped too, but some of them did their duties. So it was a complex thing back then. Some of them had a way to escape. Some of them was did they duty. You know, like you talked about self-sabotage. Some people do. Some of us do things thinking that we gonna get a upper edge. You know, like somebody gonna treat us a little bit better. Might seem like that in the surface, but in the end, we always end like everybody else. You know, so that's always been the history. You know, you take a deeper dive on slavery. You know, you got people that look like us that own slaves. You got it's especially like South Carolina. You know, but like William, I think his name was Eddington or something like that.
So I've come across Captain Edward Nichols, a British Royal Marines officer, was a significant figure interacting with Seminoles and Black Seminoles, Maroons in the early 1820s, notably after the War of 1812, establishing Fort Negro or Prospect Bluff to support them against U.S. expansion into Florida, leading to a major U.S. attack in 1816 and shaping the early U.S. Seminole tensions before the First Seminole War. Now, this is so interesting. This is straight off of Google. I Googled Captain Nichols Seminoles 1820s. For one of the first times ever, I'm seeing it written right here. Interacting with Seminoles and Black Seminoles, Maroons, has Maroons in parentheses. I mean, rarely do you see that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, so who is the Maroons? So you got to look at like Jamaica's history. They talking about Africans that escaped into the mountains. So you use that same type of definition here. You talking about Africans that escaped amongst the natives here when they use the term Maroons. You know,
I don't believe anything them people tell us about history. Not a damn thing. Nothing at all.
Yeah,
we better go. Everything we were ever taught was a lie. We got to think about it. Why would they tell you your story?
Right. But then the thing is, like, how many of us heard about Captain Nichols? Or how many of us heard about Ladino people coming with
Before we can even get to that, we've been inundated with Tarzan movies.
It's called, like
Programming.
Spanish and French and all that is Romance languages. So we learning like a romanticized history. You know, you gotta, if you want to say to children, you know, you don't want the children to see what your ancestors did in the past. So you're gonna kind of cover up things. You get what I mean? So that's what we're dealing with here. But the truth is there. You just gotta look for it. You know, you gotta have different countries like France, England, Spain, and you had the Jews here. So you got 4 different cultures of people here that you had to cross-reference the knowledge on. You know, you had Huguenots, you had Catholics, you had all different types of religious people here. So it's a lot of cross-referencing that a historian have to do, or anybody have to do, to get an understanding of what actually happened in the past. You know, when they use terms like swarthy, what that mean? You know,
that means
a lot of people melanated, or a white person that had, like they say, olive colored skin. You know, or a white person that got brown hair, brown eyes. That's a sign of melanation on Europeans. You know, like the brown hair, brown eyes. You know, that's melanin. That's a sign of black. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
All this time, they had us thinking that we came here in the bottom of a slave ship. In the last show, the comments, so the general number I've put out there is 388,000. How many people were trafficked from Africa directly to North America? One comment said 38,000. Another comment said 0.
Mm.
All we know is what a son of a gun told us.
This is true.
But I think that number that you say, that 388,000, it might be right around there. Because if you look at the 12 million that came, and the majority of them went to Brazil, because you got to remember, this North America, as far as the European, was kind of off limits until like the 1540s when DeSoto came here. And then you get 1619 up in Virginia.
They were busy with South America.
Yeah, they was busy with the islands like Hispaniola, Cuba, and stuff like that, and Trinidad. You know, you'll start seeing like the Bahamas. You know, the Bahamas right off the Carolinas. So you know, you had Spain and North and South Carolina first, and in Florida. So you got to search Spanish records, and then the Spanish tell you that the Native Americans were Negro. If you read Spanish records and they describe the indigenous of North Carolina, they say they was mixters. And they say mixed with Negro and Indios. This is what the Spanish say. So you take that as saying that the natives were Negroes. You know, all this is a way to disconnect us from the land. Because if you connect us, if you say, hey, the African Americans or so-called African Americans, it's the Native Americans, then we got a claim to the land.
Hey man, I got some show and tell I've been waiting to share with you. I gotta steal this out of you. Is that all right?
Okay.
How you been, Planet? Talk to it.
I'm good. I'm good. Everything is good.
Good to see you, Planet.
We getting the hard rain, so I hope the internet stays on. But yeah, we good. How you done?
Man, I'm start school next week.
Okay. Get it done.
Yes, yeah, we say we probably be like tomorrow something like 6 degrees below zero as far as the freezing.
I know that's right.
Also known as Solomon's Revenge, the Charleston slave who buried 9 masters alive. He was known as the Grim Reaper by the white people, and to us, this is revenge. Yes, his name was Solomon, and this is his story. The ancient oak trees of St. Michael's Cemetery in Charleston, South Carolina, lie 9 graves that the city's most prominent families refuse to discuss. Each headstone bears the name of a wealthy plantation owner who died between the years of 1851 and 1855, all under mysteriously similar circumstances. Sudden paralysis followed by what physicians of the time called merciful death. But in 1923, when the cemetery underwent renovation, groundskeepers made a horrifying discovery that city officials immediately ordered sealed from public record. Inside each of these 9 coffins, the wooden lids bore deep scratch marks from fingernails, and the bodies lay in positions suggesting desperate struggles. Now, back then, there was no such thing as autopsy reports, so the guess of the murder was it was just foul play. Now, what the authorities found next would haunt Charleston's elite for generations. A leather journal buried beneath the cemetery's oldest magnolia trees, written in the careful handwriting of a man named Solomon Fairfax, detailing 40 years of calculated revenge that began with a family's screams and ended with 9 men buried alive. Now, before we continue, make sure you like, follow, and share. The Grim Reaper, also known as Solomon's Revenge.
I thought that was something that was very fascinating. Never heard of that before. Solomon was no joke. Called him the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper. I love that story. Oh my goodness. I wonder if he could get a national holiday. Okay, next up, and this is show and tell day on the Shanghai the show. Oh, we got a special guest joining us. Watch this. Watch this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bald head. He got a whole song out there called Bald Head.
What up, though?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, peace, man.
Peace now.
I'm trying to turn this speaker on.
The truth always been funny. You're so funny that you lack the ability to accept and comprehend these truths. Here we have a video recording from the late 1940s of Disneyland Indian Village. You see those Negroes right there, those indigenous Indians? They have on the same hairdress and attire worn in this drawing by indigenous California tribes. An explorer encountered these tribes, and his writing says, in North America, from California and exclusive to the regions inhabited by the Eskimos. He says, there's tribes in California with their low forehead and skin as black as a Ghanaian Negro bear no resemblance to Mongolians. He says the indigenous inhabitants of Port Francis are not Eskimos and do not resemble Mongolians.
Bam. I got a couple more, and then I'll pass the ball. Mafia, how you living? Oh, he muted. My bad. I think he's getting his sound together. And here's one. I found this to be really interesting too. I got a ton of them. I come across these clips all day. All right, let me bring it up. It's the last one. Bam, bam.
And you want to know why I feel some type of a way? Remember, 1,000 years of our story has been erased completely and whitewashed. Abraham Lincoln, American Indian. Yes, the copper penny has been erased as of last week. The copper penny from 1909, that was the last one. Turned to the right. Remember, all the other coins is turned to the left, which were all Cabbage Patch parasites. We are the high-tech trendsetters and the original American Indians, also known as the original American Egyptians, also known as the Tartarian Giants, and Abraham Lincoln was an American Indian. Let it be known worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, peace, family. I can hear everybody now.
Hey now.
What up, there, Mafia?
Good.
Shout out to the chat.
Yeah. Now I heard that about Abraham Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks, being colored. I never heard her being a Native American. I heard her being black, part black. The Hanks family.
Yeah, but that's where it ties into the nationality, the denationalization of us being so-called black and not having a nationality or a culture, Lane clan. That's why
Mm.
American Indian is what we going after, as opposed to just being black. Black is a denationalization. Peace, family. I appreciate the love.
Let's see where you're getting at. Say national identity. So what you think about the term Indian and Columbus thinking that he going over to India?
I don't think that. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to check the research, but I don't even know if there was a place called India.
Well,
Yeah,
I think it
I
was
think it was called
Hindustan.
Hindustan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
and
don't not only that, once again, he's coming from a place that had, the Inquisition and all that. So there was a real a religious flavor, right? So I think he was searching for the Holy Land, is what I think.
Or they could have
Yeah.
got the damn story wrong. See, once you start lying, you got to make up another lie to cover the lie that you lied about.
That's true too.
I mean,
Yeah,
these
I think,
people ain't known for telling the truth, and they're
I
certainly
mean,
not known for giving credit to anybody else. These people are known
Well,
for stealing. These
and
people are
also
known for murder, for rape,
and all and
for
also
genocide.
the navigator was a Moor, so that's I don't think he was lost.
right.
Couldn't have
You know
been.
what I'm saying?
I'm not going to have
nah, for real.
somebody
I mean,
who's blind to leading me.
what's the deal?
Right.
Right.
But if we think
There.
about India itself, and we think about the West Indies, where are the West
Mm,
Indies? So where are the East Indies? And how
mm,
far is India from East Indies or the West Indies?
Mm,
good
that's
point.
deep. Did
Yeah, that is
anybody
a good point.
do? A lot of people don't know that the Moors from Morocco sent ships to help in 1770s for this country to become a country. That's why you have, if you could find pictures of George Washington chopping down a cherry tree, that was when Morocco sent ships off the coast of South Carolina to fight the British. They didn't just like that movie with Mel Gibson, The Patriot.
Mm, mm-hmm.
It ain't happened totally like that. It was Moors off the ocean helping fighting the British in South Carolina. That's why the Moors is there until 1822 when the Sundry Act came along. So that's why it behooves us to know history here. It's like we
Right.
walking around in the country with blinders on and don't know, like a horse sitting in the stall with blinders on. You get it? And don't know what's happening around us. Or what happened around us, or why these people is treating us this way. It's history. Once you start seeing, you'll start understanding. You'll start understanding why things are the way they are. Why we in the North, why our ancestors came up here. A lot of us think that the Great Migration happened from the South to the North, and don't know that the first migration happened from Canada into places like the northern states in Michigan and Pennsylvania and Ohio and stuff like that.
I wanted to tell you, shout out to the people in Canada who watch this show.
Yeah.
Outside of the U.S., we get the largest number of visitors from Canada. So Montreal, Quebec, Toronto.
I got cousins that's French. Got French Canadians. That's what they call them, French Canadians, the blacks. So they come up here. They got names like I got a nephew. His father's French Canadian. My cousin's last name Brace. That's a French Canadian last name. They come from like Quebec and Windsor. Windsor is the city that sits right across the water from Detroit, but it's in Canada. So they come over. So they French speaking people over there. Blacks that speak French, and then you go all the way over to the coast of Halifax, and then you got, they got black people that got blonde hair over there in Halifax, Canada.
I just want to put this out there. We talk about a lot of things on this show. One thing we don't talk a lot about, however, is growing our own food.
For like the last 6-7 years, I grew like tomatoes, grapes, corn, all these in 5-gallon buckets in front of my house. It's something easy that someone can do. Tomatoes I suggest tomatoes. because you could take a tomato and cut that plant a certain place and put it in the dirt again, and it'll grow a whole nother plant right then. So tomato is probably one of the easiest plants to grow. Tomatoes and peppers, and a pepper plant only gonna get.
That's my point, Hannibal. What happened to us that we got away from this?
Convenience.
Big Pharma.
Yeah. Convenience. Think about it. You know, you can go to the grocery market and buy bell peppers, tomatoes, instead of growing it on the side of the house or whatever.
Well, I'm also pointing to the farms we gave up. You talked about the
Big Pharma
migration.
Yeah, Big Pharma. Big Pharma. We the land deeds and the land allotments and the so-called slavery. We didn't have land to do it on.
But the hood was like the South, though. The abandoned lots was like, I know in Detroit the abandoned lots was like the South. You know, they was gardens, big gardens. You know what I'm saying? And then even in Detroit, we had 3 different types of pear trees. We had grapevines, different types of grapes, and all this stuff grew. You know, but
now they got watermelons with no seeds, grapes with no seeds.
Yeah, genetically modified. I don't mess with nothing without no seeds. That's one thing I won't do.
Y'all hear that? Planet, we got to get that message out there. Leave them watermelons with no seeds in the market.
Yeah. They even say, like, even with the bananas, you know, bananas had seeds. They had like big black seeds in them. So the bananas that we eat now is a modified fruit. Like lemons is too. You know, strawberries. All these is modified foods. You know.
What you mean lemons?
You know, lemon is a modified from a lime. Lime is the original.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Key limes to be exact.
Yeah. It's like they know how to genetically cross things. Like I said, like cutting the stem up, like cutting that tomato plant a certain way, and then because the tomato plant got, like, you feel it's like bumps and hairs on it. So when them hairs hit dirt, it makes roots. That's right. That's a beautiful thing about it. You start seeing the wonders of this world and nature when you start connecting plants and dirt and adding water to it. And just watching it and just tend to it, you know.
I say that because I talked to a woman today, and she said she don't cook. Okay. It just kind of made me think back to how you got people that don't cook today. I mean, I guess there's always been people who don't cook, but all my mother's boys knew how to cook, wash, clean, self-sufficient.
Yeah. But have y'all noticed that when we stopped growing our own foods, that a lot of dialysis places came in the hood? My father was on dialysis. I know that comes from the diet and drink and alcohol and stuff like that. You get what I mean? Yeah. So my father's probably one of the stronger ones. He lived for like 13 years. You know, he had triple bypass surgery on his heart, but he was a stronger one. You know, a lot of us check out early, you know, going to get your blood filtered and pulling out your body and putting back in your body. You know, so like eating healthier foods and healthier choices. You know, we don't even know how to read the directions on the nutrition facts. Know how to correspond the percentages, what that mean, what that percentage mean when you see that percentage number. That mean your data, how much salt, sugar, protein you should get in a day. So if you see a number like,
I got one for you. Is oatmeal any good for you?
It ought to. I think it's steel oats or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a certain type of oats.
Same damn thing you grew up on. The dude with the white wig look like grandma.
That's why I said it's a certain type of oat that's good for you.
Yeah, because oatmeal it's said that oatmeal dries your system out. The oatmeal that we grew up on, they say that it dries your system out. So you have to put
some honey and some cinnamon on that joint, some butter, and mix that joint.
I mean, I still eat oatmeal. Like, I think it's something wrong with everything. I think we just have to find and choose to our diet, according to our health regimen, what we need. You know, some people who might be borderline diabetic or diabetic might need more care in another area. But, you know, until we can have the family structure restored where someone is a nutritionist or cooks for the family where other people don't cook, you know, we just got to be able to take care of your own diet and nutrition according to what your health needs are.
Oatmeal makes you chubby. Now, we eat a lot of macaroni and cheese. Now, so do macaroni and cheese make you chubby?
Yeah. I think a lot of us can't eat like remnants. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful with what I mean. A remnant is a milk, breast milk from an animal. That's a remnant. So you can't eat that. Some of us can't eat like our blood types can't digest beef and stuff. So a lot of us have what they call diverticulitis in the stomach. You get what I mean? Because we can't digest beef.
You can say all you want. As soon as this show is over, I'm going here and broil this steak, and all you damn vegan people gonna leave me alone.
I'm not against eating steak because I eat it, but I'm saying that a lot of us can't digest it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you eat it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for y'all, but I'm gonna digest all of this as soon as this show is over.
Yeah. I haven't had pork or beef in 21 years.
You're doing good. I haven't had pork that long.
Please. Man, don't bring me no cheap steak. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna throw it at you.
Is there no cheap steak? So you need a Delmonico?
I prefer New York strip.
New York strip. Yeah.
Yeah, steak was my least favorite beef though.
Huh?
I said, yeah, steak was my least favorite beef. I like hamburgers more than anything when I was eating it.
I like turkey burgers.
Okay. Yeah, turkey burgers is fine. But you got to choose the right turkey meat too. So that could have you sick too.
Yeah, the ones with it's like we got to read, the ones that got antibiotics in it. You be eating them antibiotics. Then my mother used to say, why these young girls just so form? Because it be the foods they eat, the antibiotics.
Also, birth control. Birth control, I think, has caused a lot of illness in our women. Planet, your thoughts?
Well, when I was in LA, one thing, I lived in different areas of town, but when I was in Crenshaw, the food that they have in the store on Crenshaw is definitely different from the food that they have across the way, right? Different, literally, right? So once again, it goes back to the natural and the artificial, right? So, all this process stuff and all that, right, is once again someone with the mindset feeling that they can improve on nature. Well, how's that working for you? Right? Now, it might not affect some other people more than it affects us, right? Because we are clearly earth people and natural people, right? So Excedrin and aspirin and all these different things may be okay for them, but it might have an adverse effect for us.
Like a lot of the medications from Big Pharma, they are tested a lot on white people, but they don't necessarily work the same for black people.
Well, in modern times, we weren't in the mix at all. We weren't considered at all. And
that's when they began their sickness, because they started moving as if we were less than. I mean, think about it: the medical sterilizations, the Tuskegee experiments, the experiments without anesthesia.
Absolutely.
We were no more than lab rats to these savages.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah. But I think we're
About
on the
cream
right
of wheat. Is
path.
cream of wheat good?
I don't eat cream of wheat.
All I know is I hated it.
I ate cream of
Or,
wheat too.
or farina.
I would put none of that, yo.
I ain't know
Yeah,
Farina was a thing. I thought Farina was a character on the Little Rascals.
Yeah. They named him after that farina.
Yeah.
I never ate Farina.
Yeah,
me neither.
it's like cream of wheat and grits, and it's nasty.
Yeah, I had cream of wheat grits. I'm a fan of all of that.
I eat grits, but that cream of wheat and farina, you can have it.
Yeah, I wasn't with that one.
A great
Or
percentage
they
of
had
us
mush.
are allergic to wheat, according to my big mom baby.
Okay.
But then, like a lot of the products, when she said that, it made me think about corn, because the majority of the things we eat over here is made with corn, and that's hard to digest too.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if it's a tortilla chip or whatever, it's hard to digest the corn.
Yeah,
How many of y'all still eating Frosted Flakes? Tell the truth.
I don't eat cereal. I don't drink milk.
Yeah, I haven't had cereal in a while. I still would eat them.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was saying, yeah, I would still eat. I definitely would eat some Frosted Flakes. I just haven't had any. I don't drink milk though, so.
Yeah.
I was drinking a lot of coffee and I was using pet milk. And if I drink coffee again, I still use that pet milk.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch, yo.
Captain Crunch, yeah.
With some King vitamins. That was Captain Crunch is King vitamin with some fruit balls in it.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
But that was not as much, I guess, now, but that was really pumped on the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because television was a major thing. I mean that's how they got over with the TV dinners and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It was based on a certain convenience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about the science of selling them cereals. They know they got that cereal down at kid eye level.
Oh,
and it
absolutely.
make you think of that comedian Lavelle. Lavelle said his mother gave him the briefing before they went in the supermarket. Mafia, you got that briefing. When we go in here, don't ask for shit. Don't look at shit.
Don't touch
it. Also, you notice when they had TV, commercials, the commercial would be louder volume. So if you left the room, you would still hear the commercial. So it's a deep program.
Yeah.
Particularly that early TV was a deep lick.
Do y'all remember when you go to the drive-in or the movie theater and they used to play that the little skit before the movie come on and it shows you that talk about the snacks and stuff, and they was putting them subliminal messages out there like you're hungry and stuff, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's what marketing is about. It's about the psychology of what we do, like certain colors, like the color red make you hungry. That's why you see like a lot of McDonald's and KFC and Burger King got red in it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the language of colors and frequency and vibration needs to be studied as well. That's why we catch on to that late. We talking about, we low vibrational, we high frequency and all that, but we got to understand the colors that go with it, the signs that go with it, the symbols that go with it. It's a multi-complex thing.
Yeah, and when you have a bedrock of it's illegal to teach you how to read and write, that's telling you something right there.
Absolutely.
Right, because we have been asking questions and searching for things we know how to read and write back then.
How about that? Now we don't know. Now we don't go to school at all.
Right.
Now we don't go to school at all. Now we can't read. Illiteracy is higher than slavery. We had a multi-millionaire on our show, could not read.
It's a deep form.
He sold dope.
And then another, the technology, the technology is moving so fast, right? That you have now where, you know, you can talk to the computer, right? So a lot of people are losing their typing skills.
Mm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
I noticed, you know, I was writing a check or something or whatever, and I noticed that I was constantly doing block English. I wasn't doing script. You know, you can lose it. You can lose it if you don't use it.
Right.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
don't even
so
teach nurses in school no more.
right. You know, that's the deep lick.
That's
But
ridiculous.
that's the true. The true
Once,
value of that we have is our signature.
correct,
You sign the sign of your nature. That's your power that we give away every day.
correct.
Yeah, you
And a
can
lot
tell
of
by your.
times you see in the old movies, and the homie will say, "No, well, you know, leave your mark,"
Hmm.
right? Because that's how few people even knew how to. You know, all this was new.
Yeah.
You know, that's why a lot of the plays, you know, doesn't make sense.
You could tell someone's personality or how they feeling by their handwriting. You could tell if they depressed or if they worried
Mm-hmm.
about things by how they form their letters, you know, because a
Exactly.
person that's kind of depressed or detached, they don't connect their letters. When they make them, it's like a space in between the letters, especially in the cursive. You get what I mean? So you could tell the personality of what's going on with certain people by when they making their letters.
I got a question for you. Since so much is changing, including pronouns, you got to be politically correct and all of that stuff. What are our values? Are we still of the, you know, like the 10 Commandments? Don't lie, don't steal, honor your father and your mother. Are we still in that? Because what I see out here now is a lot of damn people making excuses. And they put it under this school of thought or that school of thought. What do you think about that, Mafia? What are our values?
I think we have a multitude of values. It's just like how you say, different schools of thought, but the things that are natural to a person's identity is what they hold close to values. So,
Is
like you
lying
say, the
still
thing,
wrong? Stealing
yeah,
still wrong? Cheating still wrong?
lying is still wrong, but it's accepted so much that this is what causes the confusion.
So it
You see
ain't
what I'm
wrong
saying?
then. See, wrong is wrong.
But wrong is accepted in society, though. You see what I'm saying? So this
So
where the
our values
confusion
have
comes
changed.
in.
We don't value the truth. We don't value
No,
loyalty, trust. We don't value
no,
that no more. So we don't
no,
have the
sir.
values that our grandparents had.
In most
I,
cases, not.
yeah, I could say like not all of us. You know what I'm
We better
saying?
get our shit back on track. All this
Yeah,
new shit ain't helping us. And
right.
kids calling their parents by their first name. People, you know, we got to get back on track. Old school is where I'm from. And the little kids, I never had to spank my kids, but I was willing to. I grew up in a generation where they were very liberal with the hands. Run your mouth if you want to. You're
Yes,
catching it.
sir.
Yeah.
Before
But
you
I think
finish the sentence, you're going to catch it.
it's more than the kids because it's the parents. You know, the parents is on savage time. You know what I'm saying? You know, if the parents is disrespectful to one another, how you think the kids gonna act to you? You know, if your parents don't have respect for the next adult they see and they always cussing and they always ready to fight and get beef, what do you think the children gonna do? That's how they gonna express themselves, you know? You
And
can't
a wise man said, "Get your house in order." So I
yeah.
think we all have a responsibility to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. We all got to reach some. So from that, it's like we only can do what we can do, and we come together, commune. This would be a communion service where we come together to do it on a broader level. But as long as we're doing that every day to a degree, and you check yourself whether you are right or wrong, then we can move forward.
Right, which is key.
I say spare the rod, spoil a child. If you need to tap that ass, tap it.
Yeah.
See, it's your job to save your child from the criminal justice system. So if you don't put the fear of God in them, you leave it for 5-0 or the CO. Mafia, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Let's say 5
And not even just the fear of God, but the insight and the power of God. We don't have to necessarily always fear God to be righteous.
I fear Doc Glover. That left hand with that ring finger. Yeah,
Right.
long before I met God, I met that left hand. The baba, baba.
Right.
You
And that's
find
what it's
yourself
picking you
picking
up.
yourself up off the floor. Y'all ever hear that one playing it?
Yeah,
Man, go ahead before you find yourself picking yourself up off the floor.
Yeah, I had to pick myself off the floor. You remember
The
them
mo-
thick old
the-
brooms?
Man, look, the move was the backhand lick. You hip to that?
Man,
Yeah, with the ring finger.
That's Louisiana. Damn.
I got hit with a broom.
Everything changed.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
we got hit with everything. My
Call
great
the
grandmother.
police on my mother.
You're right.
Call the police on my mother. Call on Lily Glover. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You should be at the front door.
My great grandmother had this belt that she had for generations. I'm talking about her kids, my mother, us as great grandkids we all got hit with that same red belt.
No, there was a move. There was a move where this was intelligence. Hannibal, this was intelligence, right? So I'd be in the crib, messing up or whatever, and go out there and get me a switch.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't see.
I did that for a while, and then one day I said, "Well, wait a minute, I'm going to get this person a weapon for me? No, we ain't doing that."
Then they planted in front of you.
Man, they braided and beat you.
Hey, can y'all see that? I got one right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I made sure I got a little thin one though. You hear me?
Yeah, man.
Switch.
And
how that and it get to cutting that wind and hit your back or hit your arm or something, leave that weapon on you, man.
Whew, that was rough times.
Some people mothers picked up stuff like frying pans for the big boys.
Oh no, yeah, man. I didn't see like the hot comb come out. That was
not
serious.
the hot
all that metal
That was
thing.
serious issue there.
That was like a piece of metal, wasn't it?
No, the only thing they needed to do was flash that one, and it was
Nah, for real, man.
We laugh at, but it was the good old days, wasn't it?
It was the good times, man.
Absolutely.
It gave us the structure that we needed to be able to identify, to see that we don't have no structure. We don't have
what the porch lights mean.
Yeah.
Bring yourself in the house.
Yeah, in Detroit, we had the street lights, and the street lights used to come on. You see kids running fast as hell home.
Yeah, that's right. That's
everywhere. That was the signal to go home.
But see, I think that's a part of being one with that. That's not necessarily natural, but it's one with nature, because when these lights come on, that the sun is setting. Right. So you don't need a watch to know what time it is. You don't need to look at your phone to know what time it is. You know what time it is when them street lights come on. So
right.
Here's a major question. Any advice? Because y'all seasoned enough to know. Any advice on how we get these male-female relationships better? Our 3-4 generations back were the most married American demographic. Now we're the least married. How do we get along with the sisters? How do the sisters get along? How do we get back to just some always and forever? You don't know about that heat wave, do you, playing it?
Each moment.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You're a youth.
Let's go.
Right now.
Is it the music? Because the music is, I gotta trick them, get them lean. Bop, 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 bop.
They don't even social no more.
What happened to Man, all I wanted to do was slow dance.
Yeah, that's it. They don't even
No,
social
see,
the slow dance no more.
Build your courage up to ask the girl, can you slow dance?
Everybody fast and moving fast, and you know,
It's the
I
environment.
love myself out when I stop
it
playing.
it
Of course,
it
we
it
love
it,
our stuff.
I
it
think we
mirrors
need a healthy
technology.
environment.
yeah,
It mirrors
Yeah.
technology, right? So everything is fast,
right.
right? You know, the conundrum of life is that it always changes, always.
And
Yeah,
let me tell you, the wrong person in your life, that's some toxic stuff too. That'll cut your life short, won't it?
Well,
Toxic
that's the
Absolutely.
people, constantly
that's the
complaining, never
biggest.
damn happy, never satisfied. Me, 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 me. It's all about me. It's all about me.
yeah.
That's
But a
right.
lot
That's
of
a
people
big
don't
one.
see that when they're in the heat of love and lust.
Hmm.
You know, you don't
Right. They
see
don't
them
see that.
things.
Hmm.
You know, you said what we got to do with the younger generation. I think that we got to teach them that even the act of sex is like a marriage thing. So what do you have to offer more than sex? You know, what is you doing playing house? That's why marriage ain't taken seriously, because you're already doing the thing. You got
You're already
everything but the
shacking.
ring.
You done took the
Yeah,
whole.
yeah, you're doing everything but the ring. You did everything but the shout. Like what they say to old folks. You know what I'm saying?
Do we want our daughters to get married and have babies? Or do we want our daughters just to have babies? Be honest.
I'd rather them be married than have
I'd
babies.
rather them be married too.
You know, it sounds selfish, but I'd rather them to have a stable home for the babies. My
Right.
Yeah.
daughters, you know,
Otherwise, what you making babies for?
It goes back to responsibility.
My mother
Yeah.
said at 18, you're leaving. In the meantime, don't bring no babies across that door. And number 3, own your house.
mhm. Yeah, be stable. You know, a lot of us ain't stable with our children until we start having grandchildren. You know, that's when we
Mm.
start getting stable.
Mm.
You know, having children young, in your teenage years, early 20s. You know, a lot of us ain't stable at them ages. You know, but then you got that life, and you got to grow up some with your kids. You know, you get your structure right while with your kids as you're raising your children. You know, I'm speaking from experience. You know, I ain't talking about nobody. I'm speaking from experience myself. If I had to do it a little bit different, I hope that I was ready, more financially ready, more mature. You know.
Do you
Yeah.
think young people that come from single mother households can go on and have healthy families themselves, even though
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got those children gonna have the foundation of how it is without both parents. They know some of them might fall to the wayside, but the majority of them is gonna do something different. You know, like each generation. You know, there's certain things you see within your parents that you say, "Hey, let me do this a little different." You
Yeah.
know, my
That's why I
behavior
think
is
it. No, I'm sorry.
go ahead, cousin.
No, I was just saying. I think it all comes back to the knowledge of self. You know what I mean? Because the more you know yourself, you know what you're not willing to accept. You know what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? You know how long you have
Absolutely.
patience to deal with something. You know what I mean? You know how far you want things to go with a person. So the more
a
that
young
you
man
can
about
explore,
30 years old said to me last week, the first sign of disrespect, she got to go.
and that's his boundaries.
He said the first sign of disrespect, she got to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it only can grow deeper.
Tell
And
you
yet,
something else. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. When the mom and the dad don't work out, it's easy for that one parent to say the other one ain't no good. Any thoughts on what we tell our children after the divorce?
nah,
You
you
should.
don't tell them nothing. You tell them the part that you play. You always speak on accountability and say, well, this is my shortcoming. This is where I lack at, because if they dealing with the other parent, they gonna deal with their character on their own, according to how what the character development that you are sharing with them. So if it's something that other parent or something within yourself that don't identify with that, is going everybody character gonna show. You can't hide.
Yeah, I think it behooves those like those who got kids and got grandkids. You know, you got a big family, and when you do separate from your spouse, that don't mean that the family stops. A lot of us get it twisted and destroy it and dig it in the dirt in the mud, and then your future generations can't see things or even can't enjoy both parents or grandparents or whatever it is. So I think it's the maturity of it all. You get what I mean? Because you ain't together no more don't mean that you can't be cordial or even be friends. Some people are actually friends. Some people actually work together. Some families actually work together. You got to see it. You know, I see it amongst us, you know, amongst our people, you know, extended families, people that got married over again, you know, got divorced and got remarried. It's their structure and what they want for their generations to come. Now, if you want to be centered about you and think, hey, you done did me wrong, and you want to argue about the same things over and over, one day your kid's gonna be grown, and what you mad about ain't gonna make a damn difference. And that's facts. So get your act together. You know, that's on both sides of the field, you know.
And when we feel good about ourselves, we're less likely to talk smack about how messed up somebody else's stuff is, right?
Yeah, shit, it's easier to move on, right? It's easier to move on. Shit, go get something else.
Cat Williams say, I don't give a what about what you doing in your life because I'm too busy enjoying my life.
All right.
Absolutely.
Time is short. Time is short.
Well, sometimes
I made
we
it
have
to
to
my
put
son's
people in their
birthday
place.
party. Stepdad really pulled out a spread. And I wanted to thank him.
Yeah.
Stepdads get no points a lot of times. You ain't my daddy. My daddy gonna F you up.
Right.
But shout out to the stepdads who are very important. And shout out to the women who allow them to be men. Yeah. Don't say nothing to my child. Ho.
Yeah,
we
our dynamics in our family.
We together here.
Yeah.
It takes time. Don't get me wrong. I understand. But don't handcuff that man. Don't ask him to help you. Let a man be a man.
But I definitely understand what they mean by equally yoked. And I think in today's time, we speak more in a materialistic or financial sense, but equally yoked mind and the spirit is a rare thing. So the more I feel like the more you know yourself and you can identify with that, you can identify with a great partner spiritually and mentally, and everything else will follow.
Yeah.
Some people have unrealistic expectations. Some people are looking for a sponsor. And I'm not going to give dudes a pass, especially out on the West Coast. Planet, you know better than me. You got a lot of pimps. You got dudes that pimp women, ain't working nowhere.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm going to get up and work every day and you not working at all.
It gets old at first it's a thrill, you know what I'm saying? It might be a little something, but it gets old after so long. You get what I mean? It ain't the thrill no more.
Like we have told our daughters to protect their goodies, we got to teach our sons to protect their goodies as well. Absolutely. There are women who specialize in targeting, I'm going to have his baby. Planet, you know I'm telling the truth. You saw it in New York City.
I did.
You gotta protect your son. I saw one thing it said, if I can train my son to open the door for your daughter, you should train your daughter to say thank you.
You say courtesy, common courtesies.
We got to get back to manners. Yes, thank you. Excuse me. My bad. I apologize. I made a mistake.
But that, you know, a lot of people think that takes something away from them, make them seem kind of weak. You know, they think kindness is weakness.
I messed up Sunday night. I had to, as soon as it came to reality, I got to hit y'all and let you know what's happening. That's only fair. Because we family.
You know, just respect, you know, and that's shouldn't be nothing big. It makes you a better person at the end of the day. You know, I think that's what life is about, becoming a better person. You know, doing the ethical thing, the universal good. That's what I'm learning about now. You know, what I'm thinking is good don't normally mean it's the actual best thing. You get what I mean?
We got one more sidebar for you, Hannibal. We talk a lot about peoples. What I have never really heard you talk about, and this is specifically for you, is dogs. What role did dogs play in the old America? I mean, we love our dogs today. And I want to correct people out there. They say some people in Baltimore say Dougs. We say dogs. Mafia, you ever heard Dougs?
I mean, I say Dougs.
You just said it, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't say dog. I say Dougs. I mean, that's just my vernacular. You know what I'm saying? I say fug. I say zinc. You know what I mean? Like,
people from other cities talk about us saying Doug, and I don't like that story because I never said Doug. It's dog.
I mean, but I understand. But you know,
I'd be ready to fight. At least you said Doug. I didn't say Doug. I said dog. Damn it.
No, I understand.
You people from Baltimore, like, oh, Pep, time out.
Yeah. So a lot of us got a fascination nowadays. Our people love pit bulls. So look into this dog called the Old English White, and that's the father of the pit bull or the American bulldog. So that's my type of dog, I guess. So I got American bulldog, so I train them a little different than what they was trained for in the past. But the plantation dog was called the Old English White, and you can Google it. It's an old dog, old white, muscular, look like a pit bull but with longer ears. And then they bred it with a terrier, and that's how you get the pit bull terrier. Yeah, that's the history of it. So they had pit bulls during slavery times as well. So you got statues in Alabama with slaves with pit bulls. So this is what our fascination now is, something that we had that we was doing of old. You know,
I don't like cats who fight their dogs. Fight yourself. Putting your dog out there. You fight.
Yeah, I don't fight no dogs.
I think that's cruel. Ain't that right, Pharaoh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a different monster there. Yeah, but that's only like far as history of our past and dogs. That's one thing I know about our fascination with pit bulls and where the origin comes from. You know, when you think about the indigenous dogs here, they looked more like what we call mutts and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. So how y'all day been going?
Oh man, beautiful day. No complaints.
Well, anything new? How your family going? Planning how everything with your brother?
We still working through that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. We're watching that closely. You know. But once you're in the system, in the medical system, that's a hard lick there.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you got.
They play games with the insurance. They play. You know, it's a deep lick.
Right. You know, a lot of people have been watching this series and learning a lot about the indigenous history here. You know, we talked a lot about especially the Muskogee, the tribe that I come from, and the Upper Creeks and the Lower Creeks. And today we got to talk about DeSoto, his first interaction with our peoples down there. I think that a lot of us still might have an idea of just being Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creeks, or Seminole, but not knowing that it's other tribes that's out there. Tribes in Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, you know, It's Michigan, Wisconsin. Each state got their own tribe. So it all depends on where your ancestors was, is what I'm trying to get across. And, you know, and really pinpoint to our viewers is that learn this. Learn your family at emancipation, 1863 and prior and before. Then you'll get an understanding of your native history, because you can't, it's an oxymoron to say that you're someone that you can't connect to. So, connect to your people, connect to your tribe, and then learn what your tribe believed in and what your family believed in. And then you'll know why you do certain things and why certain things resonate with you. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I was also looking into the Moorish connection to the tribes, and how the 5 civilized tribes that we know, like Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, also coincide with the Moorish, like the L's, the Bays, the Alis, the Als, and the L's. And I was diving into, I can come back and do some more information with that, but it's just a connection between how we say the Spanish Inquisition and that whole distortion with the Moorish Empire and the Moors who were over there, and the MUURs, the mirrors, or the Amarukans, and tying that all into, so we can actually have an identity, because I still see that these names that we're using to even identify these tribes are not our names. So that's why it's kind of complex, and we having a hard time. We having a hard time with these Native Americans that's on these reservations, because those are their names. You know what I'm saying? These are not our cultural names or our historic names, so to speak. So I've just been diving into that, and I'll come back with some more information where we can dive into it.
And I get exactly what you're saying. That's why, I'm really professing. Like, so when we say Creek or Creek Indian, that's hundreds of tribes. That's why I'm saying, or you say you're a red stick, so that's why I say what tribe you come from. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hundreds of creeks. What it meaning that you're an Indian that live by a creek in Alabama, Georgia, and parts of South Carolina and North Carolina. That's what Creek Indian is. You can be an Alabama, you can be anything. You can be there's many of them. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that out there. So it's a political thing to say you must, like one of the trolls say, well, I'm a red stick Muskogee. What that means? I
gotta get this last question in for you, Hannibal. Are we Hebrew also?
Possibly. That's a deep one there. Some of the tribes may have connections to them. Not all of them. I'm looking at like our tribe, the Muskogee, and connections there. And looking at the tribes like the Maya, you start seeing like the Green Corn Festival and how that's kind of similar to a ancient Hebrew festival, where the Atonement festivals. You start seeing certain words like Yohei and stuff like that gets similar to Jehovah and stuff like that. So I'm not, like I say, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that it's things that people say that leads to them thinking that the Muskogee and certain other tribes got Hebrew roots or lost tribes of Israel roots. I can see that. I can say that, you'll start seeing it when you start researching the history of these tribes and what the people of old said. Even King James himself, what he said. It's a lot what they call that conjecture. So I'm not here to say that it's so. I'm just here to drop what educators and or people that came across our peoples in the past said about us, and then we go from there.
Absolutely. If you're looking into the ancient culture of so-called Florida, and you look across ancient maps and people who do linguistics and things of that sort, they say a lot of the indigenous tribal names, and they correlate that with so-called Hebrew, and the Hebrew, they correlate that with the ancient Egyptians, and it all depends on who came across these people and how they describe them.
Right. You know, it's a deep subject to get into. You know, it all depends on what tribe you're talking about. You know, you get into like Powhatan and all them. You know, a lot of Powhatan and the tribes like the Pamunkey and I think the Pamunkey is one that exists now. That's Chris Brown's family. They had these customs. I think the headdress. You notice that it's a lot of the natives got a whole bunch of feathers and they going down. That's a different type of native from the ones that had the straight up headdresses. You know, then you got like amongst the Muskogee, you got those who had the metal circles. You know what I'm saying? The regalia, the metal piece, the priestly pieces. You get what I mean? For the ceremony, that the all white headdresses, and this is the guy who atones you. You get what I mean? So it's a lot of things that's conjecture, you know, to put it that way. I don't know if it's facts or not. Even with the Moors, you know, a lot of Moors that came over prior to Columbus as well. You know, especially in them Carolinas, like he just showed the Moorish Sundry Act. So that's why, like, Columbus went to Morocco, or not Columbus, but Washington went to Morocco to get permissions for this country to become a country.
The things we don't know, the things we are learning here on this show, eye-opening. We were here before Hebrew, but we are the good people they are talking about in ancient books. And that's the part we were trying to convey to Ori yesterday. Why can't we be the ones in the book? All of these stories got us in it, but America would have us think that we are nothing special. And we know we special. We know it. We know it in our DNA. Something special about us. We know it innately.
If you look at the consistency of misinformation and misdirection, and and misappropriation of culture and history, it lies all right there. It's just the different breakdowns and cultures who have attached onto this information further separate it and create more subcultures of the true information.
And big ups to the next generation for researching. And I mean, imagine we're having this conversation now nationally. Just imagine a little bit more time.
I think the spirit of researching, you know, you'll find out a lot, you know. A lot of us don't have a clue. You know, I think that's like even with me when I found out about my second great grandparents, I didn't have a clue that this is the people that I'm attached to. And you know what I'm saying? I never thought that I'd find a hint of a Native American, but I found several of them in my on both sides of my family. You know, I always thought this like the same story everybody was fed. We came on ships, we were slaves, and we was freed. You know what I'm saying? Or all the Native Americans died off, or maybe there's like everybody say we Blackfoot, and then but there's you can't find a definite history of a tribe called Blackfoot. You know, until I got older and researched that it's the Saponi people in North Carolina. You get what I mean? So, you know, I think it's the research. It's coming into awareness of certain things and being able to be open or being able to be wise enough to search and find these things, you know.
Absolutely.
Also speaking with people who have certain experiences, you know, it's like somebody like Planet, when he went to Africa, you know what I mean? Like that story right there, all in itself, though, just that experience, and you know, um, it's like you say, we have an affinity for certain things. I have an affinity for America. I have an affinity for the knowledge that was discovered in the Grand Canyon, the mummies that was found in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? The correlation of Little Egypt and Chicago. Why the Cairo that's in America.
Like over in Illinois, right?
Yes, the difference in New England. Where does New England come from? So is this the New England? You know what I'm saying? Since this is the New World, is this the New York, the Duke of York that we talking about when we talking about New York? So
what is the
it's just,
what is the providence of Rhode Island?
you know what I'm saying? Like how do we connect this? What people establish these authorities over the land? Because every land is only a mindset, a state of mind. That's why they say a New York state of mind. Every state you go to has a state of mind in which those people who govern over this body govern over these people. So once we can get our mind back, we can get the land back from people governing over us. Because the land is still out there. Like I hear Rod Hayes say, like every time I go outside, the land is still there. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have the understanding of the state of mind that we in with all this corporation madness and the distortion of spirituality and nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to answer this question for Big My Baby. She said, Hannibal, do you have any information on William Waller? Not too much. I know he was in the military over in England. He probably was a part of that Church of England over there. I know that's where the Quakers and all them was kind of split from that Church of England over there. So you're talking about the early 1600s, around that time. I know that Francis Marbury and Hutchins, that's the people that enslaved my kin. I know they was like in over there 1550s, 1600s around that time. So I'm thinking it's got to do with the church. Look up the Church of England and you should find something, the angelics that's over there. So,
a lot of times you have like, with the history of churches, it was focal points of cities in Europe. So they brought that, over here, right?
Yeah.
And you have a situation where people say, particularly in the South, what church what church you from, or that kind of thing, or and then up in north, it's more like in cities, it could be like, well, what religion are you, right? And then you tie that into like a tribal
concept,
consciousness, right? So that different groups have different religions and da 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 da. Well, in this time or in that time, I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it. There's so many things that happen here in terms of a program, right? Well, what kind of, man, look, I ain't with none of it, right? Now, I've experienced many of them. Don't get me wrong, I mean, growing up, I was Methodist. My mother switched over to Methodist because of my father. She was Catholic from New Orleans, right? And this, that, and the other. But it becomes a marker, right? I ain't with no marker. Why? Source made me. So you keep your shit. I'll keep mine. But I ain't with it. So now, Does it have value? Sure, it has value that you can study and this, that, and the other. But don't put me in it. Meaning, make it a mandate that I am this, that, or this, that. I'm an
or
infinite
that
being.
or that I subscribe.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, I want to
Yeah.
give a shout out to Horace Lee IV. He say peace from
Yeah.
North Mississippi. What up,
Yes,
Horace?
sir.
Why do?
Yes, sir. And so Horace Lee IV is watching everything from North Mississippi.
You know, with the history of churches and religions in Europe, right? They just fighting each other. When you look at histories of Islamic sects, even to this day, they fighting
Mm-hmm.
each other.
All
You
right.
know, leave me alone.
Right.
I ain't
Where
with none of it, bruh.
where that's in history that though, Planet, that we was killing each other over religious beliefs.
It not over here wasn't in the mix.
That's what I'm
We had
saying.
we had
So
we had other beef, but we didn't have that beef.
not because we all love it. We every branch of it,
Exactly. Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I think we understood the value of differences
Hmm.
more than we do today. Like I think today's differences is equal to separation, where um, and when you're looking into ancient times, it was cohesive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No,
Exactly.
I can just barely just imagine of what it was like. I think in some ways it was kind of similar to what we're dealing with now when it comes to the personalities of people.
Hmm.
You know, and when you didn't know who to trust, it was someone always looking for a one up. If you had a plan, someone was telling it.
Hmm.
So, master such and such is out there and they doing such and such, that. So I think it was always, we talked about that earlier in the show, Mafia, before you got on the enemy within. We were speaking about those who always kind of sabotage the program, you know. So I think like today it shouldn't be like a hidden motive. We just trying to be good as a people. You get what I mean?
Hmm.
This is now is the time to be good as a people, you know. So what you guys think about that?
Well, one of the things is that the key word is personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, well, this is my personality, right? And this is what it is, right? Now, one of the pivotal things for me was when my mother had a massive stroke, right? And I went to the hospital naturally, and I literally saw her personality change. So even your personality is visiting,
Mm-hmm.
and one day it's gonna go. So what are you without personality,
Mm. Yeah,
right?
that's powerful.
So we put ourselves in all these different boxes, right? Now I recognize that some of that was for the basic survival because in older times that was taken away from you, right? So now you've got all of these different factions, right? Fighting each other, right? Whether it be the Moors or whether it be the Kemites or whether it be this or whether it be that, right? Because ingrained in the trip is that your thing is the only thing, right? But life is multifaceted. So that's why it starts with know yourself. You want to be, you want your family to be tight? You first get tight, right? If you're in a leadership position in the family, they'll follow you. I mean, everybody learns by example, right? So if there's respect for you, they'll be like, daddy's doing that, mama's doing that. Oh, okay, I see. That's how we learn, right? But when we're so caught up in the survival principle, a lot of that goes out the window, right? And all of us have multi personalities, right? So you have one personality that we have on the show. There's another personality that comes when you're on the highway and the cop pulls you over. You have a different personality as you go
Different
into the
demeanor.
deal, right? So
That's right.
it's a very mutable thing. Oh, there's my man.
Peace,
What
bro.
up, Horace?
Peace now.
Peace. So
Peace, man.
what up?
Peace, bros.
So
Evening.
there's
How you doing?
always a
Man, what do?
there's always a deeper layer, and that's to me the human's responsibility to go in the deeper level, right? So you can see when your personality shifts, right? You may talk a certain way to a woman or whatever, right? You may talk a certain way when you're trying to buy a car and you're trying to get a loan from the right,
Right.
Absolutely.
right. So it's mutable, right? But you need to study who you are in your greatest essence so that you can flavor your personality so that it benefits you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we have a stigma in our environment that makes it that you only have to be one way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a social order as well. Like, if you're an art teacher, you can't be a mathematician as well. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
I think we have to do the knowledge of yourself and the multi. Like we only think that we are just our sun sign. No, you're your moon sign, you your Mars sign, your Venus.
There you go.
So this implements a multitude of aspects or personalities, if you will, to oneself.
Right. And those type of sciences like astrology and stuff like that are good pointers so that you can see the multifaceted nature of yourself so that you can operate the machinery for your benefit,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Because the other stage that you're talking about, mafia, has you it's so chaotic that it has you in a state of like total reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think that is what life is, to just react to whatever, you know, and that's how you assert yourself, by reaction. You know, sometimes it's quite the opposite. Don't react.
Right.
You know,
Evaluate.
one of the things that I love about my old city, New York City, is, I used to walk a lot, like walk for the people in New York, walk from 42nd Street to 4th Street, walk straight down Park or whatever, right? Uh, Fifth Avenue, whatever, right? And see, the thing is that in New York, somebody come up on you, right? Trying to sell you something or whatever, trying to gangster, whatever. And all you got to do is this. And they go away. Why? Because it's moving. So when you be on the street, there be so many people that everything is moving. So if you just go like that, they're gone. You're dealing with something else. right? You ain't dealing with them. So it kind of, in a way, kind of teaches you not to react because there's so much shit that comes at you just walking down the street, right? And you can tell the foreigner or someone who ain't hip to New York because they take their time and deal with everything that comes. we, we we just roll, right? But I think there's a good lesson in there. Just don't constantly react. But a lot of times people attach their personality to their reaction, right?
Mhm.
So they say, no, well, this is me. No, it's you in that moment. It ain't you because you're gonna be somebody else in one step. You're gonna be somebody else because life is constantly coming at you, constantly, right? So that's why the exploration into that silent part of you that doesn't react can help you in any situation.
Look,
Yeah, that's powerful.
there it
Like you
is.
saying, you can't absorb everything. I think when you absorb as opposed to observing, it makes you more reactionary.
Correct. Correct.
But it's like you got to have that time to evaluate what you're observing. That's the part. Being able to be in the heat of the moment is something, and be able to take a pause and think about the best step forward. That's kind of hard. But like you said, and being able to, like, us going into this silence, I think that'll help us when we in situations like that. We'll be able to think first, instead of being
Yeah,
reactionary.
like in relationship, right?
Right.
So you have you have this passion, right? For this woman, let's say, or this woman has a passion for you or whatever, right? And you said like, yeah, I'm down. And I'm down. And you hang out and do this and that, right? And then something happens and it flips, right? The situation flips, right? And then somebody say in your head, damn, why are you dealing with her? Why are you dealing with this situation? Why are you dealing with him? That kind of thing, right? Well, the same person who told you to be down is telling you to leave. You know what I'm saying? You can't be in that space, right? So life is like a pendulum. It goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, right? If you keep reacting to everything that comes, you'll wear yourself out.
Right.
What you
And that
want to
goes,
do is be up here looking down at the swing so that you can make an effective decision about what feels right, what you know. But a lot of times we swinging so much that we don't have time to reflect.
like, moving too fast,
Right.
and that'd be the issue. I'm learning that with time, the older you get, the slower things happen, but you can move fast, and things can get out of hand for you. You're not as ready. I put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be overstretched because you got so many things going on. Your focus is direct here, and a lot of the
Correct.
peripheral things throw you off. So how you feeling today, Horace?
I'm all right, brother, man. I've
Yeah.
been watching y'all, but I wasn't able to jump on until I, got all the way in, man, because
Mm-hmm.
it's getting cold outside.
I
Okay.
know that's right.
Yeah.
Where you at, brother?
Well, I'm in Chicago right now.
Oh, you okay? Oh, you home for the freeze?
You look
Well,
like you got a good sweater on.
well, yeah, man. I just stepped in because I was watching y'all, and I had y'all on my cell phone, but
Mm.
yeah, I'm had to get it repaired. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm gonna leave back out in the morning or not because they talking some real
Right.
crazy stuff, man, with this weather, man, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out is it real or is it HARP?
Yeah, y'all get it first. When it come to y'all, we get it next. So they talking about numbers like negative 24 degrees here.
Yeah, that's what they talking about here too.
Mm-hmm.
Then I see it where it's supposed to be sweeping, like coming from Texas and extending all the way up, man, to the northern part of New York and Maine up that way. And I'm like, because like the northern, especially like the northwestern, like Minnesota, Iowa, they not really, according to what it's saying on the map, they're not going to be affected like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
So this weather coming out of Texas, coming up that what they call that, when that, I forgot what they call it, but whatever is coming out of Texas, coming up this way, huh?
But what I'm trying to figure out, how is cold weather like that coming from the Southwest? Where is it coming from?
Yeah,
Good question.
that is a good question.
Yeah, because cold weather should be coming from the Northwest, right? Northwest traveling Northeast, going east, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or going south from the northern part, but there goes my theory about things being upside down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least, you know, dealing with the laws of physics.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can say is just bundle up, and then for our people that be outside in this weather, the homeless people, it's gonna be real bad.
It's gonna be bad, man.
Because people still live outside in that snow, boxes and all types of stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
And you know, shout out to the sister, Secrete Balance, for what she's trying to put together for the homeless, man, because there shouldn't be any homeless, man.
No.
And it shouldn't be any hungry people. I was watching I don't know if it was CNN, you know, one of those major news outlets, and they kept on showing over and over how this homeless man had stuffed some steaks down in his pants. And so yeah, the news reporter come and talk to the store owner, and it was a big old, you know, it was a big news thing, and they were making fun of, you know, the situation. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, he's hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, do anything. I'm talking about let you not eat a little bit, or you got babies that's hungry. You're gonna do things that you normally wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If y'all see me come across one of y'all timelines, just know I was hungry. You hear me?
I know that's right.
No, for real.
Yeah, brother.
Cause I'm the same way. You know, I'm gonna go get something to eat. You got it.
Right.
Hey, you know, one of the best songs to describe that scenario is "Even Though What We Do Is Wrong," the Freeway.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? He said, "Man, I'm gonna snatch this is National Kitchen." You know what I'm saying? If the heat start working, then my shoes start leaning. You know, come on, man.
Rob me a person.
Yeah, yeah, man.
He changed his life too. He went to the nation.
Yeah.
Freeway from Philadelphia. Philadelphia put out some good rappers too. What you say, Horace?
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to my man Tyreek, better known as Black Thought.
Black Thought, yeah. From the roots, right?
He one of the best in the game, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From the roots, legendary roots.
Yeah.
And so we had a good night, good conversation tonight, Horace. We talked about the sellouts amongst us. We talked about several things. You know, anything you want to put out there?
Oh well, nah, man, not necessarily, man. Do y'all know who these people are behind me?
Okay, yeah, I see Mega Evans. I see Khalid, Khalula Abdul Muhammad. I see Fred Hampton.
Yeah, yeah, man. All those brothers, man, stood for justice.
Yeah,
right.
Y'all remember when they exhumed Mega Evers' body? And he looked. Yeah, they exhumed Mega Evers. His wife had him exhume his body, and he looked at the same. The way most people hair grow and their nails grow, but he looked at the same. That the day they buried him, he looked at the very same.
You know, they had him in Jet magazine.
Yep.
I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that.
And he died didn't he die right before Malcolm?
Yeah,
Right
they
around the time before, right
Yeah, I think
around
so.
that
that
time.
time. Yeah, they shot
Right
him in
around
the
that time.
driveway.
Shot him
Right.
in the driveway. They made that movie Mississippi Burning about him, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing growing up. I'm thankful for the elders and the ancestors because they made sure we knew our history. That was one thing. They made sure we knew who died for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
That he was one of the young. What he was like 20. Fred Hampton was 21 years old when he got shot. What about 50, 60 times in his bedroom with his
something like that.
pregnant wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I was y'all know the comedian Godfrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Godfrey was saying that out of all the stuff, you know, the inequalities that we have been through here, he says that he's surprised that we are this peaceful.
Yeah, because you're only gonna become the monster that they is.
Right.
In the end time, you think about it, if you start doing the things that they do, it makes you no different than them. In the end, you start you start acting like them, then you're gonna start eating like them, you're gonna start making laws like them, you're gonna start doing having perverse thoughts like them, you get what I mean? And like how things is amongst us now. You know, it was a time when you looked at the news and see certain things happen, you say, well, that's not us. You can't say them things now. You know, you can't say that ain't one of us. You gotta watch and see.
You gotta watch.
So I mean, in regards to that, when someone is being bullied consistently, how do they stop being bullied?
Well,
I mean, do they? What do they have to do in order to stop being bullied?
Well, you know, one thing would be punch the homie in the face. That's one thing. You know, that's one way to stop it. It depends on the situation. You know, sometimes you can reason with somebody. But when it's a clan, right? Then you have to have different techniques. You know, you know what I mean. In other words, like
I understand.
as opposed to one on one. You know, that's different. But you have to use this. You know,
Sure, indeed.
it might not be that. It might not be that day that you can do it. You might have to plan. You know what I'm saying? Strategize sometime. You know, to handle them.
Yeah, I remember up here in Chicago, man. It was a long time ago. I think I was 18, 19, and ended up moving over on 115th in Racine, and went to the store, and that wasn't my side of town, but you know, and had about, I don't know, about 5 or 6 dudes try, you know, where they jumped me. But you know, they you know, grabbed me, you know, one of them grabbed me from behind, and you know, they started dropping them fifth ward bees on me. But man, once I got loose, somebody handing them some, I had them dudes running.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And all I needed was a little elbow room,
Yeah.
and 2 dudes sitting in the front of stone milk crates, like, get them, shorty. I had a couple of hype mans on the side, man. There wasn't no stopping me, man. I couldn't catch them dudes after that.
Yeah.
So we got a question from in the comments from West Baltimore, Frog 2860. They say, "What's y'all opinion on this new Black Panther movement and the leader?" So I'm gonna throw that to Horace.
Well, I've been checking them out. Somebody made a hell of a point, and you know, well, so far as the association of the new Black Panthers, they sort of denounced him and his tactics in regards to you know, being with this aggressive, rhetoric, because I saw how they did the police in Philly, and then they are integrating into these movements with these other people that don't look like us.
You talking about like
So
the immigration movement?
yeah, man, and that's not our fight.
Right. I caught that video when my man was talking about shooting somebody that's doing something to the immigrants, and I was like, well, that's not. That was not the message from the Black Panthers that I heard of in the past. So
Right.
I heard that they was here in the city not that long ago. So I didn't hear nothing bad about them, but
But how can you even make threats like that and still be able to maneuver in that particular range without being an agent?
Yeah, that's why I was saying it got to be some type of payment, some type of bait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is you trying to rile our people up to do something by saying things like this? Because you don't say shoot the immigration officers. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the plays out there is the play for martial law. That's why you got to use this.
Hey, you know what, man? You might have hit the nail on the head with that one, Planet.
Yeah. Get you to react like you say. What we gonna do? Get you to react, and then hey, we lay down this martial law now.
Right.
Not it's no police now. It's the
Right.
military now. So hey,
and you
now you got a different fight. Now you can't just protest this military monster now.
Right. You want a plane going to Salvador or somewhere.
Well, you see, they can enter into people's homes without warrants. And these dudes is getting $200,000 a year salaries, to be aggressive against the people on the land.
It's the old Roman move. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you know when you take an oath, you're not a citizen of the United States? So anybody that took an oath in the office, you're not a citizen like how we are.
I didn't know that.
I mean, but in all honesty, in law, we're not citizens either. We claim citizenship to those to that 13 square mile radius in the District of Columbia.
And that's a whole different other monster.
That's another lick there, right? Yeah.
I was watching something to say that in 1871, this Washington D.C. was sold to like other countries, like the monetary system, and that the chief of the money is the Secretary of Finance, or the Treasury, the Secretary of Treasury from Puerto Rico, supposed to be the one controlling the money here, and that was something deep I heard.
Yeah, so it's all a game.
Yeah,
but there is no money. I mean, the only thing that has any real value is the sweat of our brows. Whatever energy that we put into a thing is the only thing that has value, because if I take a bucket of dirt and mold it into a race car, it's still only dirt.
Right.
So the only value that anything has is the amount of time and energy that I put into molding the dirt. The dirt belongs to Mother Earth.
So what you're saying, like intellectual property, right?
Well, to a degree, intellectual property, man, is falls along those same lines, but it's all fugazi, man, because they're on our land. Remember, Plymouth Rock we don't land on Plymouth Rock.
Rock landed on us.
When you're talking about the planet and you're talking about gold, well, all the gold that was ever here is still here. All the diamonds is still here. All the oil is different because it can burn up, but still, everything is still here.
Yeah, that spins off to another conversation about the gold, and made me think about the gold in Fort Knox in the Federal Reserve. Heard something that England, that they empty Fort Knox with the trains and shipped all the gold out of there on trains, so there's nothing there. You get what I mean? So basically we all working off a debt to England from the United States becoming a country itself. You know what I mean?
It's all game.
Right, like
It's all
like how Haiti is paying the European nations.
Mm.
How they
America
pay
is
France,
paying
yeah.
England. Yeah, America is paying England for becoming a country. You know?
Yeah, shout out to Ibrahim Traore.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So
You
we've
know?
been at it for a while, you guys. You know, Planet Well, do you feel like taking us into the silence?
Sure, we can go there.
Okay, sir. Well, if anybody got anything else to say, add before we go there?
Yeah, I was just saying, as far as with the Black Panther Party, it's all data collection as well, just to see where we stand, who stand where, and to cause more confusion between the people, because we trying to unite. Some people want to see that because, you know, it's nothing standing up out here for us, or, you know, nothing, no leadership that we can look to as far as in a revolutionary sense, or who is fighting for the people outside of the intellectual conversations that we having, but it's still our data collection and to cause more confusion amongst the people that's on the ground.
Hey, you know, well, I think we had mentioned this previously, but from the 60s going backwards, we always had brothers like these three to step up. You know, when these three were gone, there's another three pop up.
Right.
When those three gone, another three pop up. Because think about it, we got a whole list going backwards of revolutionaries. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To this day, right now, the last revolutionary that we have is Louis Farrakhan. You know, and I do want to say a shout out to the brother Rizza Islam. You know,
In a public arena.
In the public arena. You know,
there are a lot of people who are working that are not in the public arena.
Well, yeah, of course, what that would be us.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in the public setting, like you said, you know, when Farrakhan goes to the ancestral realm, then who's going to be the next Medgar Evers or the next Fred Hampton or the next Martin Luther King or the next Marcus Garvey or the next Noble Drew Ali? You see what I'm saying? Who's going to be the next? Because it's like now you can't trust no damn body because everybody work for the government. You know, they're getting a paycheck. You see what I'm saying? And what, my man, the dude from the NFAC, they're not effing around coalition. Remember? They were saying that he was an agent.
Well, that's the latest thing. Everybody agent now. You feel me? That's the, you know what
So
I mean? Even the AI got agents. You feel me?
You can't beat them, join them, I guess, you know?
Right.
You know, you get the AI agent.
Right.
You know? Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Say Tupac Shakur was a play revolutionary. Think so?
Nah. I mean, like I say, everybody gonna have an opinion about who did what, who was what, and who was going harder than the next person, and all that's just based on opinion. You know what I'm saying? You only can do what you can do. Those who you touch and who you lead and who follow behind you, that's on you. Whether you're doing it in a private setting, in a public arena, as long as you're doing what's righteous for the people that you're standing for, it's going to show.
Absolutely.
That's a good question.
I wasn't there. He was in Baltimore, but I was about 5 and 6 when he was out here. So you know what I mean?
Who that, Tupac?
Yeah, I don't got no stories with that. You know what I mean? But I know how he impacted me and influenced me along with the other brothers, the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? The gang members, street niggas, whoever you were. I was influenced by everybody. Everybody that was a part of the culture and part of the struggle. No one was better than the next one. I still had to make my own choices to lead life how I wanted to lead it.
Sure, indeed.
Right. Absolutely.
Sure, indeed.
Like I said, it's been a good show tonight. We had a great conversation. we had great comments from my viewers in the comments. You know, a lot of them. You know, our people in the comments be supporting us a lot, and we like that, you guys. So you know,
where's the Honorable Doni Glover at?
Trying to see. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Donnie went and walked the dog, and got into it with the African dude up the hill.
Oh, man. The brothers is smooth, man.
Yeah, man.
You're looking good, Horace. How's everything?
I mean, everything is everything, man. You know, I ain't got no complaints right now, man.
Good.
You know, just like I said, man, I just got here, so you know, I got to get some repairs done. Well, I actually got the repairs done today.
Okay.
You know, but so I'm now, man. Once because I had a couple of friends call and like, man, you don't need to be driving.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, you know, you got to step off into that, you know, intuition, and it'll tell you, you know, what to do. But yeah, absolutely.
Right. And that's what I'm gonna do, man. Most definitely go into that, you know, mind, you know, and see what answer I can get, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because, you know, you don't need to be actively putting yourself into danger.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, you know, before you go into the bold thing, so well, Planet West, I know you know where Joliet, Illinois is at. It's the suburb of Chicago. So where I am on the south side, it's about 30 minutes from here.
Okay.
So I used to work out there doing rail yard. You know, go to the rail yard and get the containers, blah, blah, blah. So I had a load that I had to pick up from there. And all of those years that I had been riding past there, I didn't know that it was 8 pyramids right there. I'm talking about big, gigantic pyramids that's a couple of miles long. And so the way that they are, that I know now, is that even though we might see them in sectioned off at the top, they still connected underground.
Right.
Okay.
That's deep. That's deep science right there.
Yeah, my brothers. Yes, sir. Yeah, so I was a little salty, man. I was really, you know, I'm like, man, ancestors, please forgive me.
Right. I know that's right.
For not seeing this all those times I rolled past there.
Right.
What you say, hidden in plain sight, huh?
Right there, man. Right there.
So we got a road in Detroit called Mound Road.
Yeah.
And it was a historic mound there that they done tore down, you know. So
well, Rod Hayes said it best. He said that when you got a people on the land that's destroying the land, they inadvertently destroying the people of the land.
Yeah. Removing the history that you got nothing to live back on. Just like how Chicago and Detroit is New York City, concrete cities. You don't got no remnants of what it was in the past.
None.
Nah.
Like that mound I told y'all that I grew up playing on. The kids that's there now, they don't know that there used to be a mound because it's a slab.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up putting a basketball court on top of it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Or a statue.
Yeah.
Well, I think like what we're doing is bringing a lot of light to a lot of the history. You know, maybe the next show I can bring, we could bring light to some of the things that's into the cities of Chicago, cities of Detroit, New York, and Baltimore, things that people don't know existed there at certain places. Maybe that could be in a future show that we do, you know.
Well, just for what they call a hint, was the Chicago ain't nothing but North Mississippi, man.
Right.
It's the country with tall buildings.
Yeah, Detroit ain't nothing but North Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah. That's it, man. Because we see the difference between us and New York. The New Yorkers was mixed in with a lot of different, like Irish, Jews, etc. We were segregated.
Right.
Just like
That's
Detroit.
very true.
Was segregated. So all our people from Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. They had their own stuff, and so they brought that Southern culture and they maintained it after all of these years, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The words we speak and the food
Very
we
true.
eat.
Foods, yeah.
I would say, I got friends from Mississippi, and you guys from Mississippi, what y'all eat, pinto beans and tripe. That's not that's a Mississippi thing.
Yeah, right, I love me some tripe, man.
Yeah, I like tripe. I ain't learned it until I ate some from my partner was from his mom was from Mississippi.
Yeah.
We was in Alabama, greens and cha-cha.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Hey, but you know what, man? That southern, I mean, regardless of where anybody who from this land up north, they got to recognize their southern roots, man.
You got to. It's a whole different monster, They don't even have to know you down south. They waving at you. It's like courtesy to the utmost. Hey, how you doing? So,
and I had to get used to that. When I first went down south, man, I was ready to fight, man.
Right.
Because nobody recognize us, Horace. Wasn't no other man recognizing us but us. So that's why we always say, "Hey, brother, how you doing, sister? How you doing, cousin?" That's why we do those things. Because
but in Chicago, man, you don't wave at nobody you don't know, man. They're
Jack.
Trouble.
That's right. Because there's a different culture there. Here, we see like what up though is a go both ways. It's like a hello, and it's like, hey, if you got beef or whatever, it's a duality when you say it. You know what I mean? But it's mostly a peace thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, that's just like, I mean, I've been so traumatized with it, and it still stands today, man. How the dudes stand up at the restaurants or the gas stations.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't need you to hold the door for me, man. Both my arms working real good.
Right, oh boy.
What that means is that if I hold this door for you on the way out, hit me with a
something.
Hey, you ever gave somebody some change and they say this ain't enough?
Yeah, I did that, man, and slapped it out. I slapped it out the dude's hand. Look, I had one dude one day say, man, you got $3? Like $3? I heard 30 cents and 40 cents, but this dude asked for $3, man.
Yeah.
And not that, that if I didn't have it like that, but you can't give everybody the ask for something, but it's a possibility he needed. So I try not to make fun of those situations, but it's just some of the arrogance. Some of these.
No, it's a different. There ain't a lot of times there ain't no humility. You know what I mean?
Man.
And
But that's the thing about the guys that do hold the door. At least he will hold the door or offer. You know what I mean?
True. That's
true.
True.
He will offer you something. It's like somebody that's selling something. All right. I would go for somebody that's at least selling, even if I don't want it though. All right. I appreciate you having something to offer.
Trying to make the gas.
And see, I did it a couple of times where the brothers want to pump the gas.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, I got my own gas, man, but here you go anyway.
Right, because it's the offer that counts.
Service for whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I have done that.
Yeah. So guys, Donnie had to step out. He had something to get into.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna continue the show. We're gonna call it a night. We're gonna meet back here Sunday evening at 8:00. And we're gonna continue with our conversation then.
Okay.
Let's take 2 breaths and hold them for 5, right?
Ashe.
Say, divine peace,
I say, man.
protection.
Jeez.
And that bowl feel good, man. I could just imagine, man, if we could have a few of those, man, in some spiritual places, you know, with the matriarchs, man, you know, drawing down the energy from the moon.
I'm looking for one for you, Horace.
Gratitude,
Okay.
bro.
Okay.
Gratitude. Let me come with this list right here. Okay. I wanna start out by resurrecting the righteous matriarchs and warriors amongst the tribes of the Mayans, the Muskogees, the Olmecs, the Washita Mound Builders, the Choctaw, the Red Sticks, the Apache, the Sioux, the Cheyenne, the Saw, the Miamis, the unification of the various tribes known as Seminoles, the Comanches, the Tomahawks, the Fighting Illini, the Shawanese, the Kickapoos, the Potawatomis, the Delawares, the Wyandots, the Ottawas, the Kowichans, the Navajos, the Utes, the Wichitas, the Tawakonis. I want to send a special shout out to the street tribes of the Egyptian Nikki-Cobras, the Almighty Black Peace Stones, the Almighty Vice Lords, the Black Guerrilla Family, the Black Disciples, the Gangsters Disciples, the Black Souls, the Four Corner Hustlers, the New Breeds, the Bloods and the Crips, all sides, and a special shout out to my man Nipsey Hussle. And a special shout out to all our viewers as well as the brothers and sisters there's in the cities of Chicago, Mississippi, Los Angeles, Detroit, Oakland, Memphis, New York, New Jersey, Alabama, Birmingham, Little Rock, St. Louis, East St. Louis, Illinois, Baltimore, Gary, Indiana, Cleveland, Youngstown, Philly, North Carolina, Florida, South Carolina. That includes Columbia and Greenville and Greenwood, Rhode Island, Providence, the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, as well as Connecticut. And then I want to move over to my honors list. Wait a minute. Where's my honors list? Oh, here we go. Sorry about that, brothers. Okay. All right. Well, I might have having an issue pulling my honors list up. That's crazy, man. Let me see something right quick, man. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Want to send honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Great Queen Neitha, the Most Honorable Empress Vidayasi, Chief Redbird, Chief Warhorse, the Honorable Kimber Vita of the Congo, Dr. Francis C. Welsing, Dr. Arikana, Sister Shahrazad Ali, Ashada Shakur, Angela Davis, Mama T, Sister Vicky Dillard, Sister Myra, Dr. Joy DeGrew, sister on the YouTube by the name of The Chris. I'd like to resurrect Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, and Sonia Massey. I want to send a special shout out to Queen Valadara Renita El Hadare Bey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm Malik El Shabazz, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Dr. Delba Blair, the Honorable Taj Tariq, and Dr. G, the Honorable Dr. Claude Anderson, Sun Ra, Professor Patrice Lumumba, Professor PLO Lumumba, C. Freeman Hill, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jay Guevara, the Most Honorable Dr. Malachi Z. York, Omali Yeshatila, Julius Malema, President Ibrahim Traoré, General Barbecue of Haiti, the beloved brother Bobby Hemmett, the Honorable Reverend Phil Valentine, Nellie Fuller, Fred Hampton, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Clarence 13X, Anthony T. Browder, Professor James Small, Dr. Booker T. Coleman, Rod Hayes, Young Elder, Dr. Ray Hagan, Steve Coakley, Billy Carson, 19 Keys, Dane Calloway, Kareemio Ahua, Rizzi Islam, the legendary Top Cats, my man over Taylor House Publishing, Dr. Sebi, Leila O Africa, Yaki Awakening, King Randall, Free Rashad Jamal. Want to send a special shout out to the beloved brother, the Honorable Doni Glover, for providing us with this platform for us to reach our people. The Honorable Planet Wales for spiritual guidance during these troublesome times. The Honorable and the beloved brother Hannibal James for his knowledge and wisdom on genealogy and so forth and so on. The young, wise, and intelligent brother Mafia Shakur for his knowledge, wisdom, and overstanding. And to all of our viewers who are 100% on our team in this monumental and indigenous movement here on Turtle Island. Ashe.
I
say
say
Horace
Horace
Lee.
Lee
Horace Lee
IV.
Horace
IV.
Lee IV.
Appreciate it, my brothers. Appreciate it.
I want to do a shout out to Dr. Charles Finch, who recently passed into the realm of infinity and light.
Yeah, shout out to
And
Dr. Charles Finch. Yeah.
and I'm going to send our energy and our love to the women and our sisters.
True indeed.
Okay,
True indeed.
aunties.
So,
Ashe. Ashe.
we love each and every one of you guys, our viewers, and we'll get back with you guys this Sunday, 8 p.m. Peace.
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 Wadu.
Peace. Peace.